What's up, everybody? Brothers, sisters, psychonauts, and seekers of truth. It is Ananka, and welcome to my bazaar. Today, I have a 1P-LSD trip report for you. The title of this trip report is Happy Birthday, God, and was submitted to Erowid in 2015 by the user Something Memorable. With all that being said, let our story begin. Trip report, March 25th, 2015. Substance, 1P-LSD. Quantity, 2.5 200 microgram blotters. And tolerance, a half of a 200 microgram blotter 18 hours prior. Time awake at the start of trip, 38 hours. I tested the half blotter the night before because I wasn't really convinced that this substance I procured with such ease could possibly be a true equivalent to the real deal. It is. In the past, I have always used mushrooms to augment thought and used LSD to augment activity. This time, I took a different approach. Instead of exploring the world on acid, I chose to explore the mind. I have had several psychedelic experiences on LSD and mushrooms. Most of them have been middle-ish in terms of intensity, but sometimes it's difficult to tell. One man's middle is another man's extreme, is another man's low, or at least the story goes. Prior to this trip, my most intense experience was on 7 grams of mushrooms. I don't know the strain, but by all accounts, I know they were potent. I saw God, and at the time, I didn't even believe in such a silly notion. He made me jump off of a building. Like, for real. So, on to this latest trip. My new, most intense trip. I saw God again. But this time I realized that God and I have something fairly amazing in common. We are one. God is searching for something greater than himself. He is consciousness. He is the framework that provides for experience. And in his eternal being, he has grown bored. He cannot reconcile that in all of creation, he can possibly be the only one of his kind. But his limited imagination prevents him from really comprehending that another consciousness exists out there. He creates the illusion of the external for himself. But deep down, he understands that it is indeed just an illusion. His perception shapes reality fully. He determines what hurts and what feels pleasurable. He determines what is green and what is red. He determines what functions create the experience of sound, and he gives texture to the physical. He is everything. He has all of these tools, and with them, he can create an entire universe. Indeed, he can create a truly infinite number of them. But what he finds himself unable to create is a second consciousness. He finds himself at a conundrum. In order to experience that second consciousness, the two must somehow become one. And so he wonders if he is in fact alone. Sure, he can imagine friends and other beings into existence, but this is not the same. He resides in heaven, but so great is his torment. God has been playing with himself since the dawn of everything, and in all his might, he wonders, what next? Torn between choice and determinacy, He finds himself unsure whether he is the controller or the controlled. He reasons that it's probably some combination of the two. He understands that the discovery of the other might be something that is in fact out of his control despite his will. The will of God falters, and his mind grows weary. The trip itself was quite animated, with a lot of great illusions and twisted, mind-bending craziness. No extreme open-eye visuals, but plenty of OCV. But ultimately, none of this was important. It's all been done before, and it will all be done again and again and again. We are all God. We are all one. For some reason, though, in all of our grand ability, we cannot seem to make it to two. Life and death. It's zeros and ones all the way down. The trip concluded as follows. God realized that he has had the tools to solve his puzzle all along, and incredibly, they have been. It seemed to have something to do with giving birth to himself and being there to witness it. But to be perfectly honest, it was all a bit over my head. Happy birthday, God. I'm a little sad because apparently I pissed in my bed, or spilled water, I can't honestly tell. There is always a price, it seems. Bloop. 2 days later. I submitted this report very shortly after returning to this world from that other world, and I unfortunately believe now that I was a bit hasty. I tried to quickly cram all the important details into that small period of time while my mind was still swimming, and I left out a lot of what might be useful to readers. I told a story without giving many facts. Alright, everyone. That is the end of our story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Share with us your 1P-LSD experiences down in the comments below. Check out the other videos and playlists on my channel. And I will see you in the next one, fam. Deuces.